Hi everyone, welcome to 1000faces.com. My name is Tomi. I haven't done this in a while. Life gets in the way, super busy. Thank you for stopping by. I wanted to talk to you today very quickly about something that I've done, something new that I've added to my 1000 Faces project. It's a book that I've written, The Adventures of Dele, the Street Kid. Every superhero needs a sidekick. So this is my new book that I've just written, and I just wanted to answer some questions that people have asked me with regards to the book, why I read the book, what inspired me, and the topic that's covered in the book as well. I will be dropping where you can buy the book if you wanted to support, and please do leave your review if you do buy the book. The Adventures of Dele, the Street Kid was something I thought about 6 years ago when I traveled to Nigeria. I was in Lagos, I was held up in traffic, and while I was waiting there, I looked across to my right and I saw this little boy. He was on the street, he had an empty tray. The sun was pretty high up in the sky, so maybe around 1, 2, and I looked over at this little boy, about 6 years old, and my heart just went out to him. A million questions came to me like, why isn't this boy at school? I wonder what his family situation is, all of those things that you think about. Also, it's so hot and this boy is there, the road is busy, safety and security for him. While I was in that thought, I was really thinking what to do about the situation. Bearing in mind that I was in a car, the AC was on, the driver was driving me, so I looked over, then the honk of a car goes off. I look over to my left and a 4x4 pulls over and stops right beside me. And in the car, in the 4x4, was a boy roughly around the same age as this boy on the road. But this little boy was in a 4x4, there's a driver, and you can just tell that he's been picked up from school, he had his school uniform on, and their lives at that point couldn't have been more different, And I looked over to my right, I see this boy who is in desperate need. I look over to my left and there's a boy, all tucked in a 4x4. That was about 6 years ago that I saw that, and that situation did not leave my heart. When I'm walking on the road, it would flash back at me. When I left and went back to London, I would think about it. When I'm grocery shopping, it would just pop in my mind. When I'm writing, it would just pop in my mind. I just felt like, this is something that should not just be looked at, it's just a situation that happens, and we just move away from it. I did see street children a lot growing up, but it wasn't something that was discussed beyond, they're just begging for alms, they're in dire situations, and that was it. At school, it wasn't really spoken about. In the community, it wasn't really spoken about. It was just street kids and, or the poor, or the beggars, or those people who can afford to go to school. Every time this scene of this young boy crossed my mind, I would think about that. Like, if only I could do more. But it's such a big problem. I mean, statistics show that millions of children are in dire situations like this. They're homeless. It's such a big problem. Where do you start? So there was a day I just sat down, got my pen, and I just wrote it. And I wrote this picture book in an hour. So I just poured my heart out and I wrote it about a boy who is in need, a street kid who is in need, So it just, lots of questions pop into my mind. What would a street kid need? What do they want? What are their desires? Because as that boy was on that street, that day, things would be flashing across his mind, like, I haven't eaten yet, or, where's my mommy, where's my daddy, why aren't I in school? I'm sure that those questions plague him every day. So I thought, I can't go out there and fix the problem, but I can do something, So that's when the idea of this book came to my mind. There are loads of Deles out there, across continents, everywhere. And this book is really dedicated to them, and it's the story of a little boy who goes through a journey. I've tried to think about the circumstances they might go through every day, and so I'm writing a series, and this one focuses on loneliness. So If you get the book and you look through, you understand more of why I've chosen that title. People that have read it have found it to be very inspiring. I've had some parents who have said that the topic is quite sensitive and it might be a little too sensitive for younger children, but some other parents have said, no, children do need to be aware of this kind of situations. I'm very fortunate to live in a country where we don't see homeless people about, and that's one of the main reasons as well why I really wanted to write this book and release it. You know, the children that I am fortunate to teach, they are children of very wealthy people, you know, and their lives could not be more different from the lives of children like this. So in terms of parents asking if it's a sensitive topic, which it is, however, it's reality. Children like Dele's reality. Every day they have to wake up, you know, they have to go and sell to make a living, or they have to do odd jobs to make a living. It is their reality, you know, and we can talk to children about this circumstances and situation. It just depends on the way we approach it with a child. Children are naturally curious, they have questions, they want to learn more, and it's up to us as the adult, teachers, parents, carers, whoever it is, it's up to us as adults to make sure that the way we approach questions that they might have or certain circumstances, we explain in such a way that that child goes away feeling like they've learned something, you know, and it's not to make it heavy or go down a path where the child is more confused or the child is distressed. No, it depends on the way you handle it and have that communication with that child. So I have released a guide, and in that guide, I've written about how you as a carer or a teacher or a parent can answer such questions, you know, because children, if they travel to, you know, countries that do have a high level of homelessness, they are going to see these things. It doesn't help, I think, if we just shy away from it and pretend like it doesn't happen. But if we have conversations about these things with children in a child-centered manner, then, you know, the child can learn something from it. You know, finally, one of the reasons why I did write this book is for us to not only sympathize, but to empathize with children in situations like this. There are many of them all over the world, and they're forgotten about. They really are forgotten about. So if that child, you know, in a very well-off school does have a question about how this sort of child, how do they eat, how do they sleep, I think we should be able to approach that question in such a way that that child will learn and will empathize and will want to do something about it, you know. So in the guide, I've given parents and carers and, you know, teachers as well, different activities that you can do or think about in terms of, you know, your community or globally as well, because we can and we should be doing a lot more. We can and we should. So please do grab a copy of The Adventures of Dele the Street Kid. Every superhero needs a sidekick. This is part one of a series of this little boy's journey. And I think children are absolutely going to fall in love with Dele and with obviously the little dog as well. So if you want to know what the dog's name is, I'm sorry, you're going to have to buy the book. But it covers other topics like friendship and, you know, making the right decisions and things like that. So it is an amazing book, and I'm so proud that I'm able to write about, you know, every Dele that's out there in the world. And someone asked me that if I was to encourage a child who is in this situation, what would I say to them, you know? And this will give you a clue into what part two of this series is. What I will say to them is that there is this stigma. You see, you know, a homeless person, you might think that, you know, they've done something bad and that's why they're homeless, or they could steal something from you. You know, there are all these things that are attached to them. What I would say to a child in that situation right now is make the right decision. It's a tough place to be in, to be a street child. You know, every child deserves to have a home. Every child deserves protection. Every child deserves love, the love of parents. Every child deserves to wake up in a warm, cozy bed with a teddy bear, with, you know, blankie and all of that, but not all children have it. So my advice to every child, actually, every child is make the right decisions. If that pen doesn't belong to you, don't take it. If you have the opportunity to share with somebody else, share. If you've already had a turn and it's someone else's turn, let them have a go. You know, those little things. And these are things that we should be communicating to children anyway, you know. And I do pray and I do hope that the world sees these children as just, oh, they're just street kids and we forget about them, but we actually empathize and we do more. So that's my message. Thank you so much for everyone who has been with me on this platform for so long. I haven't posted in a while. Like I said, life happens. There's so many things happening. I'm trying to push the book as well. So please do support if you can. Leave a comment on Amazon. It's really hard to get comments on Amazon. People have bought the book was like, please leave a comment on Amazon. You know, grab a copy and yeah, share the story of Dele with your friends, your neighbors, with anyone that you know. It is really a good story, and I know the children will like and want to be friends with Dele and the little dog. So buy a copy. Thank you so much for joining me. No matter what you're doing, wherever you are, God bless you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing year. We've only just started the year. Have an amazing year. And there's much more to come from 1,000 Faces. So please do stay tuned. And my new website is available. And yes, please do log on. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.